Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of My Hope in Marriage. I'm your host, William R. Cunningham. Welcome. Well, My Hope in Marriage is dedicated, or I'm dedicated to help you to establish a happy and fulfilled marriage. There are a lot of forces against marriage these days, and it's good that if you have resources to help you forge ahead to have a happy marriage, to have a happy relationship with your spouse and family and so forth and so on, your household. And that's what this is all about. I've been married for over 35 years, and I've I've written articles and made several videos about marriage based on the things that I've learned over the past 35 or so years. I want you to succeed just as I have succeeded to get to where I am now, even in my own marriage. I mean, there are challenges there, and I've learned how to look at things to get over them. And I want you to have the same type of resources. There are a plethora of resources online available to you, and I hope that you would take advantage of My Hope in Marriage. All right. Well, what I want to do today is talk to you briefly about desire and how desire can help you to become unhappy. That's what I said. It helps you to become unhappy and unfulfilled in your marriage. There was a concept, I think I was reading about, Buddhism, and I remember reading that they believe, and I think I'm just going off from memory, that desire is the reason that we have so much pain. You want things, you desire things, and you pursue them, and you don't have them, and that causes pain. And that pain may cause you to do things that you probably shouldn't do in some cases, but it causes pain. The Bible says hope deferred makes the heart sick. When you're hoping for something and it doesn't happen in a reasonable amount of time, or the longer you wait for it to happen, the sicker your heart gets. And therefore, in marriage, if you would apply that concept, if you will, to marriage, from a man's perspective, remember, I'm always talking about a man's perspective, but it goes both ways. A man desires his wife, he wants his wife, and he also desires that his wife desires him. Okay, that's important to understand. Yeah, he desires her, but he wants her to desire him. And when his desire is not fulfilled, then that causes a negative effect. And both, the fact that his wife doesn't seem to desire him, that bugs a guy. All the indications is that she doesn't really want me. She doesn't seem to spend time with me. She seems to want to spend more time with the kids or watching TV or with her girlfriends or out shopping than actually sit down and talk to me. Of course, having sex together. I mean, that doesn't seem to be in the cards for her. And that puts a toll on a guy's emotional state. Even, I guess, it affects his psychological state in other areas of his life, as far as stress and whatnot, and dealing with different issues, knowing that when he comes home, he's not going to have the relief that he desires. So desire itself can indirectly bring about the pain that we have even in our marriage. Therefore, it is important that we understand that and do something about it, because you desire something and it's not happening, so you try more and more to get it, and it doesn't happen, and that just starts to build up. Now, when we get married, we want to have a happy marriage. We want to have a fulfilled marriage. And what is happiness is dependent on you. You define what is happiness to you. You define what a happy marriage looks like. And we're talking about a godly marriage. Okay, we're not talking about swingers or or spouse swapping or anything like that. We're talking about a healthy marriage based on Christian morals, Christian beliefs, and so forth and so on, where two people are dedicated and committed to each other. So you define what that happiness looks like. You define, you know what makes you happy. All right? Now, you know that life, as an adult, you know that life does not always throw things at you to make you happy. As a matter of fact, life tends to want to destroy. It tends to not, it doesn't care about you. So you have to be responsible for your own happiness. You have to look at, what are you desiring? And maybe I shouldn't desire that. And I'm not talking about just your spouse, because maybe you desire to have this kind of business, or maybe you desire to do this or that, and that desire is just causing you a lot of headaches. Well, maybe you need to step back and say, do I really want to do that? Or maybe I'm taking a completely wrong approach. Maybe I should approach this a different way. All right. So you need to watch your desires, monitor what you're desiring, because they're fueling you. They're fueling you to do certain things, to try to accomplish things, to work at certain things. So you need to monitor what it is you're desiring and prioritize and whatnot. But being aware of that is the first step. Awareness is the first step to that. So what makes you happy? What makes you unhappy? Or I should say, what contributes to your unhappiness? Or what hinders? That's a better way to say it. What hinders your happiness? And you're looking in your marriage. Well, what about your marriage is making you unhappy? Or what about your marriage is getting in the way of a happy marriage? Now, you may say, well, my spouse doesn't seem to love me or want me, or they don't cooperate, or whatever the case may be. Okay, well, the next question is, well, what are you doing about it? All right. Now, I have to recognize a specific situation here, because it would be nice if you could just, follow some type of, progress, or follow some type of series of steps or something like that, and all is well. You just do this. You take these 2 aspirins and you wake up in the morning, everything will be better. It'd be great if I could say, or anyone could say, that you just do this, do that, do this, and she'll be in love with you like crazy. Okay? Maybe get that cologne. Was it Axe? All right? But the fact is, the reality is that sometimes your spouse really doesn't care. It may not be personal, or it may be personal. Maybe she's so wrapped up in something else that you were just a means to an end as far as marriage is concerned. That's possible. That happens. So you have to come to grips that maybe that's the case. And if that's the case, continuing to desire and desire and desire, and to work at making that dream of yours come true, is just going to cause you more and more disappointment, more and more pain, more and more stress, because she's not interested, and vice versa. Remember, I'm speaking from a guy's perspective, but remember, it goes both ways. Wives may try to cook his greatest meals, keep the house clean. Not that it's a woman's job to keep the house clean, but let's just say she does all she can to make his life, stress-free, and just relaxing, and just, where he can just enjoy himself. But if he's really not interested in her personally, then all of her efforts are gone. They're for naught, because he's not interested in you. He is just interested in what you perhaps provide. Maybe he just wants somebody to clean his house and wash his clothes. Who knows? All right, so you got to remember that life does not always end happily ever after. Sometimes you have to deal with situations that are not pleasant and will not be ideal to your desire. All right, so that's something that's important. You have to take control of your life. Do not allow anyone to control your life. So therefore, look at what you desire. Manage, consider what do you desire. You look at your wife and you desire her, but she just doesn't seem to be there. She just seems to be somewhere else when it comes to relationship. Well, you can keep on desiring her. you can keep on going after her. But again, unless she changes, and you can't change her, unless she changes, your desire is just going to bring you continued pain. Therefore, you need to shift and look at your desires. What brings you fulfillment? Okay, perhaps your spouse is not contributing to your fulfillment or happiness. And let me make another point, that it is not the responsibility of your spouse to make you happy. You are responsible for your own happiness. And if she or he is not contributing to that, or is hindering that, as far as, let's say, causing stumbling blocks and causing things for you to have to deal with to subtract from your happiness, then you have to make some pretty hard decisions about how you're going to pursue that relationship and what you're going to do in that relationship. If your relationship is here, but your desire is here, maybe you need to bring it down a notch. Get yourself straight and then see what you can do. All right? That's just some food for thought. So you determine what detracts from your happiness. What desires do you have are causing you and have been causing you pain for a very long time? Perhaps you're in an unhappy marriage. Your spouse just doesn't seem to be there, doesn't seem to care. There's no intimacy. There's no intimate communication. You've become roommates. So why are you going to put all this effort into desiring something that's not producing fruit? Now, I'm not suggesting divorce, but what I'm saying is, look, what desires, what other things do you have? What desires? What do you want to accomplish? I don't know, bucket list or something that'll make you fulfilled. Something that'll make you happy. All right? So it starts with you. I have a saying that, it takes two to tango, but one to get it started. In other words, a happy marriage is built when two people are contributing to accomplishing that happiness. And if only one is contributing or trying to produce that happiness, then you've got a problem. Okay, you've got a problem. But at least one person is trying, because if both aren't trying, then you're definitely not going to get there. It's probably not going to happen by accident. That is a happy marriage. All right. So you may have to, assess what you have now in your relationship. Okay, my relationship is here. All right. The bills are paid. She cooks, maybe she has some deficiencies, things that you would like for her to do that she doesn't do, or things that you would like for him to do that he doesn't do, but you're here. All right. You can sit there and complain about your desires not being fulfilled, or you can just say, look, this is where I am. I remember talking to an old couple. I say an old couple. It was an older couple in the sense that they were married for decades. And I asked them, what advice do you have? What's the secret? And they both said you have to accept each other the way they are. See, we want to change your spouse. You can't do that. There comes a point in your marriage where you have resolution, where you resolve that this is this person. This person is never going to be quick. This person is never going to be fast. You might even say this person will never be on time, but you need to work on that because you shouldn't be tardy. All right. All right. So you accept that. Look, my relationship is here. My relationship with my spouse is here. All right. I want it to be here. This is what I dreamed about. This is my desire, but I can't desire that now. I got to step that down and be thankful and grateful for what I have. And hopefully what you have is at least functional. Because if it's not, that's a whole nother problem. And I'm not going to discuss that here, but at least we function. The bills are paid. The children are clothed and fed and all that kind of stuff. Things get done. You can sit down and watch a movie together or watch TV together or whatever. But your relationship is not where you want it. But okay, Let's just deal with what you have today, right now. Let's deal with the now. Now, what do you want to do? Do you want to learn a new language? Do you want to accomplish something? Do you want to get something? What desires do you have that you have more control of fulfilling, for accomplishing? What goals do you have? Well, pursue them, man. Go after it. If she's with you, she's with you. If she's not going to be with you anyway. But don't let the fact that your desire for your spouse is not being fulfilled stop you from being fulfilled. All right? That's very, very important, because though unmet desires, it's just going to cause you pain. I'm not saying throw your wife away, don't just, or your husband. I'm not saying just reject them, neglect them. No, I'm here. It functions. I know that I'm not going to be able to hug her and have intimate relations. I know I'm not going to be able to be intimate. I know that if I try to be romantic and be playful or what have you, or sensual, I know it's not going to be met with a reciprocal response. I know that. I know that if I walk around in my lingerie, wives, if you know that if I walk around in my lingerie, he's not going to pay any attention. Okay, that's where you are. All right, stop walking around and maybe one day, but don't keep stabbing yourself with desires not met. What do you want? Maybe you like it when he says your meals are good. Maybe that's where you are right now, okay? So my point is, you have control over meeting the desires that you have. And the desires, let me rephrase that. There are certain desires that you have more control of fulfilling than others. You can't fulfill a desire for your spouse to be a certain way if they're not that way. That's something maybe you can work on and talk about, and over time build it up to where you both are flourishing. But right now it may be here. Maybe in 5 years it'll be here. Maybe in a year it'll be here. But right now you're here. Don't let your desire for that, cause you pain, because it's just going to keep hurting and hurting and hurting, and it's going to get worse. What desires do you have? Maybe you don't have a loving, intimate, maybe you are roommates, but hey, let's work together to get a new house in a certain neighborhood where we can just sit on the deck and enjoy ourselves. Maybe the relationship just isn't there, but you don't have to let that hinder your life, hinder the fulfillment of your desires and your dreams, your goals. Go for it. All right, go for it. That's my message. Do it. Don't neglect your spouse, but don't allow the unhappiness in your marriage to hinder you from being happy. Because in life, you're going to have happy times and things that are not happy. You may be happy about the work that you do on your job, but you may not like the company. Maybe your boss is just a pain or whatever, but you love what you do. And that's just life. They're going to be the good and the bad. Maybe in your relationship, that's the same way. So take that bad, manage it, keep it there to work on it. Don't neglect it, because if you neglect it, it's just going to get worse. But fulfill yourself. Be fulfilled by desiring things that you have more control of. I'm not talking about another woman or another man. All right? But those are the realities. A guy who is unfulfilled by his wife may find himself being fulfilled by another woman. And you got a problem there. All right? Now, he's not intentionally going out looking for that, but it can happen over a period of time. That's why you need your marriage to be solid. All right? What's the phrase? Adultery proof. Okay? All right, so that's the message I want to leave with you today. Pursue your own happiness. desire the things that you can better control to accomplish based on your efforts. And you might need others to help you. But don't spend your times complaining about the desires for your spouse that aren't met. And you just keep complaining and you're rolling that over and over in your head. And you're spending your whole life focusing on how bad your spouse is. Okay? All right. So, or your relationship. Okay? So, be happy. I had to say that. Work on your own desires. Manage your own desires and pursue your own happiness. Pursue your own fulfillment and make it happen. Keep working on your marriage, but don't let a bad marriage or unhappy situation in any part of your life keep you from being fulfilled and happy. All right? All right. Well, I'm William Cunningham, aka Reggie, of My Hope in Marriage. I thank you for watching. You can visit us online, or me online, My Hope in Marriage online at www.myhopeinmarriage.com. If you have any questions, feel free to, of course, leave a comment to this video, or you can leave a question on the website, the contact form, question form, and I'd be more than happy to answer your question. I'll make sure that I answer all questions, all right? Okay. All right, well, thank you, and until next time, be blessed.